Greetings, everyone. So something a little different today. We're working on the house where we live while we're doing the construction down the hill. And one of the problems that we had last winter was this drain here in the driveway was plugged up. They used a perforated line. It was kind of that black corrugated stuff that had the perforated holes in it to drain the driveway, and I presume kind of make a French drain out of it as well. But last year during the winter, it was raining really hard. It was cold, and the driveway started filling up with water, which then spilled onto the sidewalk here. And it was just about ready to start running under the house when Carrie and I came out, and with a pick and shovels, we dug a little trench to divert the water. So I think the line is crushed because I ran a cable snake both directions, and it feels like the snake turns up at the point where it's plugged. So I'm thinking maybe the pipe is crushed. So the project today is to dig that up and replace those lines. So all of the utilities run overhead at this house, except for the water line, which comes in right here. But unfortunately, my meter box is way up by the street, and the underground locating, the utility locating company, they only go as far as the meter. They won't locate the line coming up to the house from the meter. So looking at the box there, it's a PVC pipe that runs this direction. So basically, I'm just going to be really careful when I start digging here. I'll stop short of where I think it comes through, and we'll hand dig it down to the depth we need, and hopefully stay away from that water pipe. It's PVC, so I can't use a metal detector or anything like that to locate it. So one of the first things I'll need to do is go down to the property and hook the backhoe to the tractor, get that loaded up, and bring it up here to the house. So let's go do that. All right, I got the 3-point hitch arms off. So let's go hook up the backhoe. All right, the backhoe's all hooked up. The last thing I need to do, I need to put the top link from where the top link connects to up underneath the backhoe. There's a spot for it, and basically that stiffens up the backhoe when you're digging, because it's going to want to push it up. And in the past, I had cracked the frame on the backhoe, and that was one of the suggestions the dealership said, was to put that top link in, so that way all the pressure is not on the frame of the backhoe. All right, we got the top link going from this pin here to where the top link connects, and it's tightened up and ready to go. Let's get it on the trailer. right, so we're all loaded up. I had 40 feet of the SDR pipe left over from the septic system that I'm going to use for the downspout and the driveway drain. And then I also had over 40 feet of the HDPE, or is it HDPF? It's a double wall pipe that's got the round perf in it. And I'm going to use that. I'm going to put that in the trench next to it to use kind of like a French drain as well. All right, let's get going and head back up to the house. So the first thing I want to do is pull all this gravel back so I can reuse some of it once we're all done. So the plan is to have the new drain pipe, which the old one ends right there at the corner of the sidewalk there. But I'm going to end up digging it out farther, and I'll have the pipe drain out just past the corner of the shed there. So I'm going to reach back and start digging back there. All right, so I got it all trenched out, except right here there's solid rock. So I'm going to do a little jackhammering there, and I might have a little bit there I need to jackhammer. And I'm all the way back to where the basin needs to be, but then I want to trench a little farther and go to a 45 so I can connect that downspout over there. So let's get this first section jackhammered. All right, that jackhammer made pretty quick work of that. Let's get the backhoe fired up and in place, and we'll clean this out. So the low point of the driveway is about where I've got that basin. I ended up going with the 6-inch round basin. That's what they had in there before, but it was only single-sided, and so I just got the double-sided instead, so I can go over and catch that downspout, and that way I could still use the same grill that sat on top of that. And when we were digging and found that this ground was so hard, we decided to forego the French drain, because all the water is going to run on top and go into that basin. And when it rains here, obviously that's what it looks like. Very little penetrates down through the ground. It all runs to the old basin. So I've got the pipe in there. It looks like I have a little bit of a hump here. My ichrometer might be off a little bit. So I've got the laser set up, and I'm just going to check the top of my pipe height there versus over there. All right, so it looked like I had about 2.5 inches of drop at the end of that pipe of 20 foot. So that'll give me an 1/8 inch slope from end to end, which is perfect. Probably what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and get another section glued on and down to my 45-degree corner down there, and then I'll bring you back. So I got the basin set and everything, or at least this side tied into it, and I have a 4-inch drop from this end to that end, so I think that is going to be fine. It's just slightly under 1/8 inch per foot. All right, tied into that downspout, and I went ahead and did it like that because that downspout had quite the kick coming out the bottom. So, I pretty much had to do a 90-degree bend there, and I've got fall coming all the way back to my basin. And I think now I'm gonna get I brought some sand in. I'm gonna go ahead and get some sand around the bottom of it to fill in any of the irregularities I have in the trench. So let me get that and I'll bring you back afterwards. I got the main section all sanded in, and the SDR ended up right here. So I had to switch to the HDPE triple wall. And then I made the corner, went another 20 feet, made another corner behind the shed, and goes out 20 feet. And had to move my laser so I could get the slope on this pipe, and I actually have a 6-inch drop from the corner here to where the pipe is going to daylight in the back. And I figured I'd take some of these rocks that I had dug up, and I'll make a little riprap section where the pipe comes out behind the shed. So it is another day, and I've gone through and I've picked out a lot of the large boulders and rocks out of my backfill pile, just so when I'm putting the dirt in, I won't be knocking this pipe around a whole bunch. And I'm gonna get started backfilling now. All right, starting to look like something now. And I'm almost wondering if I really needed that basin there, because I do have a nice slope running down here and coming around the corner. And behind the shed. So I'm gonna probably try to get a little bit more dirt down there around the pipe, and then maybe cover the rest with rocks or something. I'm not sure how that pipe will do being exposed to sunlight. All right, now it's really starting to look like something. I got the road base kind of spread back. I tried to pull some back from up here just to get a little bit more in there. And got a little more work to do in here just to make sure the water's going to run out. Have a little bit of a hump there. And got most of the dirt thrown back in there. All right, I've got a hose set up in the downspout, and I can hear it trickling in there. Let's see what we got in the basin. All right, looks like we got water moving through the basin. Let's go check our outlet. Haven't gotten here yet. There it is. Very nice. All right. Guess I'll get some of those rocks and plop them there. We're supposed to get a week's worth of rain coming up, and that's why I was kind of in a hurry to do this project. And there's how I finished off the pipe where it daylights out from underground. Went ahead and just covered it with all the big rocks that I had to dig out, and then threw some down there at the outlet to kind of break up the water if it comes rushing out fast, and dissipate it a little bit. All right, I think I'm gonna end this video here. I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.